All right, we're back with episode 5 of the 51 Minutes podcast. Are you ready for another episode, Zach?
There we go. Let's do it, guys. Another podcast in the books. Let's do it.
Yeah, we got some interesting topics today, too. We're going to go over the Zion situation a little bit more and some of the things that has been coming out of New Orleans, and then maybe touch on the Lakers and Anthony Davis issues because he just got injured, and that's kind of some of the new news in the league.
This whole Zion thing's blowing my mind. It sounds like the Pelicans pulled Zion off most of their graphics, and they're not portraying him like they're showing CJ McCollum, they're showing Brandon Ingram, but all of a sudden Zion's off all their graphics. That's a little weird, man.
Yeah, I saw that today on Twitter as well, like a big promo for the new team, and Zion wasn't even mentioned in it, like at all. How do you not mention Zion in your promo? Does that say that they're not looking to go forward with him? I don't know.
Maybe it's kind of like the Anthony Davis thing where they sat him the whole year before they traded him. And like, I don't think it's exactly like that, but I think it more has to do with Zion hasn't talked to the team at all. And on top of it, CJ McCollum, who just got to the team and is the president of the Players Association, hasn't talked to Zion once since being there. And he's supposed to be the star of the team.
Yeah, they don't seem very organized down in New Orleans. And they have a lot of issues with like their staff, their health and their training staff, and they have to go seek outside sources, medical sources and things like that. And I don't think Zion really wants to be in New Orleans. I think New York really is where he wants to be, you know.
He's joked about it a few times. And
right.
Usually when we hear rumors on Twitter and like things start circulating, there's some truth to it. It's not 100% true all the time, but there has to be some sort of something that got to it being a story.
When there's smoke, there's fire. There's truth in that cliche saying. Like there's been a lot of information coming out about him not being happy in New Orleans, and it doesn't surprise me with the way they handled Anthony Davis.
Can you think long term? Because they're a relatively young team without like CJ McCollum, like his age, but like most of their team's very young and they still have assets. Like, do you move on from Zion from the situation if he is a disgruntled star? But also this sets precedence. Like, no rookie has ever tried to force their way out of a rookie contract. They get paid and then they force their way out.
Not to mention, he got like the max deal for a rookie. He broke the record for the max deal a rookie's ever gotten. I think like
on a shoe deal or his on his shoe deal.
On the shoe contract. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He got one of the biggest shoe contracts. Yeah.
I was gonna say he's up for a contract this year. So either New Orleans pays him or like either he forces his way out. No matter what the Pelicans are going to say, this is what we're going to offer you. We know you're injured, this and this and this. Maybe he won't like the number, and then it goes into the next year. But
here's a
if I was Zion, take that money. Take the money, man. Like you got to take whatever money you got.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to go from one dysfunctional organization to another, though, in New York, because New York has a lot of issues with Dolan and their front office, and they're just a disaster over there. They were projected to be like third in the playoff race by this point. Like they were going to be third in the East, and they're not even in the playoff picture right now. So they've really underperformed in New York. So I don't know if that's really a desirable situation to just go from the Pelicans to New York. I've
definitely heard some interesting hot takes on Twitter throughout the last couple of days where people are saying that he's very Julius Randle is very unhappy at the fact that the free agents that they went after, Evan Fournier and freaking Kemba Walker this offseason, when like they had cap space, they had pieces, they could have easily made big moves. Like DeRozan was a free agent and they thought DeRozan wouldn't be anything and didn't even offer him the bag. Like they could have paid him more money than Chicago offered him.
Right.
And like the fact DeRozan was looking to move up to a big name franchise, like he went to Chicago because the big name, you know what I mean?
That would have been really interesting to see. I think DeRozan would have fit well in that system in New York. I don't know why
compared
they didn't
to Kemba.
That. Yeah, for sure. And they're having issues with Kemba right now. He's looking like he's probably going to get traded as well. I don't understand what's going on with
you know how many Knicks fans don't want Kemba traded? I heard it over and over again on Twitter. Like nobody, they're like, no, we hold on to Kemba.
He's a solid player, but it seems like his issues really are in the locker room. They're centered with behind the scenes issues.
I think it has everything to do with the coach. The coach pulled him. The coach made the comments. It seems everything has to do with him and Tibio.
Yeah, if they want to get better, the Knicks, they're going to have to start by getting a new coach, getting rid of that guy. It doesn't seem to work.
Isn't it hard to say that after he just won Coach of the Year, like
I
not like
know.
what last year, like, and then all of a sudden we're talking about maybe he's the problem.
But the
I think
NBA,
he's stubborn.
yeah,
I think that's his problem.
the NBA is a what have you done for me recently kind of business. And this year, I mean, Julius Randle had a great year last year, and look at what he's doing this year. And now this year, he's not even an all-star selection. So it's just crazy how the tables have turned from
I
one
think
year.
I think the NBA is changing too. Like all these new young coaches are coming in with their new schemes and like making old stubborn coaches like Popovich and freaking Tibia, like they're stuck in their ways and they're going to play their older stars and they're always going to like not think that like you need to earn those minutes is like a lot of things that I hear a lot from older time coaches. And then younger coaches, they're like going to play whoever's best at that situation.
Right.
Like Steve Kerr and Chancey Billups and like a lot of the, even Lou over, like, look what he's done for the Cavaliers. Like it looks amazing over there, and just see what happens when you add a coach that can totally make these decisions and let these young players play.
Yeah. It's like a breath of fresh air. You get a new coach in there, different chemistry. It just is, it could change the whole layout of a team, a coach. I definitely believe that.
What do you think about this whole Lakers situation and Anthony Davis getting hurt? Like that injury looked bad. Did you see it? He like jumped up and fell right on his ankle. Like he tweaked his ankle again.
He landed on somebody else's shoe, and it kind of like, you always run that risk, whenever you're landing, that you're going to land on someone's foot. It's really the last thing the Lakers need right now with all of their season follies. And I mean, now Westbrook is definitely going to have to step up. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go forward, especially in the playoffs. Like, do you think AD is going to be back for the playoffs?
Oh, it sounds like it. It sounds like he's going to be back for the playoffs.
If not, also, they're in trouble.
They're a team that you don't want to play in the playoffs when they are healthy. Like, don't get me wrong, they have had a lot of issues, but when you put them in, like, they just need to make it there. That seems to be their issue. They're not a good regular season team, but they do have a lot of vets that could step up in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I don't see
and you only need them for one game.
I don't see them getting to the Western Conference Finals, or definitely not.
No.
Without
I'm just
AD.
saying, what I'm saying is I think most teams wouldn't want to play them first round. Like there's a lot of teams around the league that would be like, first game, the Lakers, like it would worry a couple teams.
Yeah, for sure. Who's in the 8th seed right now? Do you know? Is it? I think the Pelicans are still fighting to get in that as well. I don't know why. It's not like they're gonna do anything, but it should be interesting, to see how this plays out with Anthony Davis. And
so on our side, Boston has the 6th seed on the East, and Nuggets have the 6th seed at the in the West. But also there's a play-in, so we got the Timberwolves, Clippers, and the Lakers, and then us and the Blazers, and they're like 2 games ahead of us too. So they're basically a lock for the play-in. The Lakers at this, they're not locked. We'll not say locked. And for the other side, there's the Raptors, the Nets, the Hornets, and the Hawks, all play-in teams.
Oh,
and the Raptors
interesting over there.
The Raptors could be scary. They need a center, but they have some wings that can make some shit happen.
Yeah, they're a good sleeper team in the East. Like, look out for them. They're gonna do some damage if they get rolling and they catch fire right before the playoffs. Because, when you get into a rhythm right before the playoffs start, it kind of transitions into the playoffs. So look out for Toronto, as a sleeper team. I don't think they're going to go to the finals or anything, but, second round for sure. I could see them getting past the first round, depending on who they play.
You've noticed over history, the teams that are trending great right before playoffs are the teams that usually win their first round. Otherwise, and you'll see these teams like Phoenix is on this tear, like 20 games out from playoffs. So like it's great that you're on a 7-game tear, but I want to see where they go moving forward with Chris Paul getting hurt, things like that. An interesting conversation with Golden State and how they'd match up with Phoenix. And like, it looks interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, any of these teams can catch fire. Like the East has definitely gotten better. I think everybody's in agreement that the East is much better from the last season. And it's really a toss-up. I mean, there's the teams that everybody kind of has a feeling are going to go far. The Nets, the Bucks, the Lakers, and you got those teams in there. But it really is anybody's playoff series. I don't know who's going to win. And it's a nice change as a basketball fan going into the playoffs, not knowing who's going to win the championship. Because for the last couple of years, it's always the Warriors, always the Lakers. Like, you're just waiting for the regular
love the
season to get over.
excitement.
Yeah,
We're excited for basketball again. We actually get to see good
nice.
games. This is going to be a good play-in series too. Like, there's a lot of competitive teams that
Right.
like. There's not like a team like Phoenix that one year where they like couldn't even get into the game no matter what, even if they won out and we won enough games.
Man, they played incredible in the bubble, and that carried over to their very next season too. So that goes in line with teams just catching fire, and it could translate into the playoffs. So it's really going to be. Go ahead.
I think this is interesting too, that there's Golden State's biggest weakness is they don't have a true center until Wiseman comes back. And who knows if Wiseman's going to be that answer. And if when they play Phoenix, Chris Paul has showed that he can play really good defense on Curry, and Bridges plays really good defense on Miles Bridges, and like multiple other, like Miles Bridges is really solid. Like he could like lock down Klay Thompson if you want to, but to think Draymond and a few other players would be the X factor. But they also have a really good center.
You think so?
Phoenix's center is amazing.
You think Miles Bridges could lock down Klay Thompson if he really had to?
Miles Bridges has locked down a lot of big name guards in this league. Like Miles Bridges is one of those X factor players where it's kind of like Livingston for like, I just think he's a really great bench player. Like, cause he comes off, he's not playing starters. Yeah. And when he comes in fresh, and then he's going to be pestering your big name star, and he can take somebody out the game. Like Trae Young's, he's definitely been Curry's thunder in his thought, and Bridges seems to be Curry's issue. So he could take either one. So
but that's good the thing with the Warriors. If Klay is getting locked up, you have Curry, who is one of the best off ball. Like his movement off ball is incredible. So who are you going to put him on? You're going to lock up Steph Curry? Well, now Klay Thompson is just pick and popping, and he will destroy you. It's that dynamic duo, the Splash Brothers, that took them to that championship before they even had KD. So I don't know. Can you lock that duo up? You might be able to stop one of them, but both of them at the same time? I don't know. That's a tall order.
But both teams are very deep. And honestly, I'm not saying that Golden State, like their three main stars, are not going to eat. They are going to definitely play a solid game no matter what you do to them. They're going to get their numbers. But when it comes to their young core underneath those players, like Kuminga, and Wiggins has no playoff experience. Like, I want to see how this goes long term. And like, we're talking about Phoenix, who just went all the way to the finals last season, and they're like hungry. But don't get me wrong, Golden State's hungry too. Like, they want to get back to a ring. They want to get back to contention. And if they don't like win this season, there's going to be all these talks about Golden State. And for Phoenix, they could easily lose this, and then it could just be another sad story. But when you're talking about the legacy of Golden State,
like, if
this
they
is
lose
this season.
If Chris Paul has another situation like last year's playoff run, I mean, he made it to the finals, but up 0-2 and then to lose the finals, it really is going to start to tarnish his legacy as well. So I think Chris Paul is going to be gunning this season. He is out for blood.
This might be the perfect thing for Chris Paul, is getting injured right when he did, because now he has so much time to get healthy. He has like 20 games to get healthy. But this does sound scary, where he's going to get reevaluated right before playoffs and hope that he's good enough to play, so that he might not even play the first round of the playoffs. And it'll be a Devin Booker show. And like, they might be a first round exit if they don't have Chris Paul. Like, he runs the whole team. He literally does everything for them.
That would be shocking. I would be shocked to see that, but it's not impossible, because the East is stacked. They're stacked, or no, excuse me. The East is stacked as well, but the West is stacked. So if Phoenix does end up making... You
got teams like Golden State, the Grizzlies, the Jazz, the Mavericks, and the
Tough.
Nuggets. But
it's tough over
there.
At
this point, they're going to play the Nuggets, because as long as they hold they've won 7 straight. Golden State's has lost 2 straight. They're 42-17, and the Suns are 48-10. Like, do you really think they're going to lose that first seed in 20 games? Like, they could possibly.
You could realistically make a case for every one of those teams to make it to the Western Conference Finals. You could make a case. The Nuggets, okay, they got an MVP in Jokic. Utah, they were just there. You could make a case for every one of these teams.
Jamal Murray might be coming back soon too, or he might like sit this whole season. But if the Nuggets get Jamal Murray back with what they've done this season, and having Aaron Gordon use the system now, They're a pretty scary team. Same with Luka. How do we count out Luka at this point?
That's another.
He doesn't have a team,
right?
But Luka scored 50. It's annoying. It's like, damn, he can take over a whole game. Damn, you, Luka, stop it.
He took the Clippers to 7 games last year. I mean, that could have gone either way. And then what happens? What happens in Luka in the second round? Like, I don't know. The teams might match up differently. It's all about matchups.
A team.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of Dirk Nowitzki and like him trying to like save the team and him getting all these rejects and like he just got Dinwiddie and that.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting, but to me, it just, you guys need to make bigger moves. You have Luka. You're going to scare him away. Like at this point.
He did just sign another big contract. So
yeah, but as a rookie, you're going to get your bag. And like, this isn't the contract where stars dip out. They always take the first contract, play those 5-6 years, depending on whatever it is. And then like in those next 2 to 3 years is when they decide if they're going to dip out.
But they have a good 5 or 6 years, you know, to try to build around him. And it looks like they're making a lot better efforts than the Blazers had to build around Lillard. Like they brought in Porzingis, you know, they're making good efforts.
That didn't work out, but they tried. They made moves. They were aggressive.
Mark Cuban is a great businessman too. I have faith in him being able to secure a Luka. Like he secured Dirk his whole career. I said Nurk. Fucking Nurk. Nurk somehow makes his way into the podcast.
Come on.
Oh my God, I hate Nurk.
Nurk could be up there.
Oh man, he's horrible.
If only Nurk played like freaking Luka. If only they were somewhat of the same player.
No. Imagine if Nurk he got a fadeaway like Dirk.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what Nurk needs. He needs like a floater. God.
Yeah,
he
just that little
sort of like, and he could play slow. Like that's Nurk's problem. Is he plays super slow, but he's not like Luka. Luka has that mix like
Dirk. I'm saying Dirk.
Oh, Dirk Nowitzki.
The Dirk fadeaway. The Dirk fadeaway. Now imagine if Nurkic he had that in his game. Bro, he could already shoot from mid-range.
You would think he learned. How did he play with? Did he ever play with Aldridge? Did Nurk ever play with Aldridge?
I don't believe so. I was
gonna say, how did he never learn freaking Aldridge's like push back, turn around? That was iconic in Portland. I know. I wish we still had him.
But if we had that with Lillard, the spacing in the floor would be incredible. He would be able to get to the bucket at ease anytime that he wanted to.
That one playoff series with Aldridge, remember when like it was the last year of Aldridge and he was like sitting there at the 3-point line doing the same crap over and over again, where he'd come in and push up against you and then do fadeaway super deep twos because he can't get towards the basket and everyone's guarding him right off.
But he was making the threes. If you remember back to that Houston series where Dwight Howard was on Houston, Dwight Howard was shooting threes. He was forcing Dwight Howard to have to shoot threes to keep up with Aldridge. Like Aldridge,
he's doing that now too. He's playing for the Nets and like making centers come out and like actually playing. It's interesting to see Aldridge playing center. It's interesting. I love it. Why didn't we try that back in the day?
Man,
a healthy Aldridge,
phenomenal, and just to have with Lillard would have been great. And
if he played center and then like say because back then we needed a center. Like if we move Aldridge to center, and because this was before, like we wanted a classic center before we wanted a floor spacing center where Aldridge would have been perfect for that. We could have had him suck out to the 3-point line and then baby Lillard and then go after Durant and play him at power forward and play Aldridge in the center.
The what ifs kill me because we know that would have been missed opportunities. That would have been,
even if they all left, I don't care. Like Aldridge can leave, Durant can leave, but it still would have been fun to watch. Like we missed that as Blazers.
Oh, you're saying if we got Durant instead of Odin as well?
Yeah, but like say LaMarcus Aldridge played center, like he moved over to center. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, but I agree. And he never wanted to play center in the beginning of his career either.
But this just highlights.
I'll play center.
It highlights the inconsistencies in Nurkic or like the flaws in his game. Because he doesn't offer you any of that. And I touched on this the last episode. I think he contests like 3 to 4 shots in the paint per game. How are you contesting only 4 shots in the paint a game? And you're a center. He's definitely the worst starting big man in the NBA. Like, look at Golden State center. Would you take Wiseman or Nurkic right now? Who do you think is a better center?
Wiseman has a lot of up potential, but Nurk's been playing in the league longer. So I just got to take who's been in the league longer.
But Nurk is not going to get any better. This is as good as he's ever going to get.
This is his ceiling. I agree. Yeah. This is his best season. He's not getting any better than this. Why? But watch Wiseman come back from his injury and not be the same. Like these kind of injuries and centers, like they just don't come back the same. I don't think Wiseman's going to ever be the same.
Well, Nurk
will
tell you all about that because everybody was hoping that he was going to come back the same. Hold on.
He came back.
Somebody's at my door. Excuse me.
Okay. You're all good. It sounds interesting to me though. I'm baffled by who could like actually.
Hi, how's it going? Yeah, no worries.
Sounds like it's interesting. I wonder what's going on. It's one of these. We're gonna have Blooper Reel Central today.
Yeah. Alrighty, no worries. All right, thank you.
There we go. Sounds like he's coming back, everybody. We'll pick up when he gets back.
All right, sorry about that, folks. They're doing some painting upstairs. It's actually kind of interesting. We had some crazy tweaker neighbors, and they finally got kicked out. So doing a lot of
the repainting the upstairs.
Yeah, man, it was bad. The neighbors that we had upstairs, they had a fly infestation, and I guess they had some kind of issues. I don't really know, but they seemed a little like schizophrenic or like I don't know what their issue was. But my landlord told me they had a mountain of used diapers that this guy was wearing and like using them. And
interesting.
It caused a fly infestation upstairs. And
well, most definitely. They definitely are attracted to shitty diapers.
They were horrible. They would throw garbage down on my front patio.
That's almost as bad as my old place, man. That's crazy.
Dude, they smashed the side mirror off my Camry. I don't know why. Like, I've never done anything to them. I was super nice to them. Every time I come into my apartment, he would ask me for spare change, and he would just sit on his top little deck and like wait for me to come home. Hey, do you have a dog?
Imagine coming home. Hey, man, you got change? Like, dude,
every night after work, bro. And I got off late, and he would be out there. So like he knows when I'm getting off of work, and he would ask me every night.
Maybe I can get 50 cents and I can go buy a cigarette.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about the disruption. What were we talking about? We can get back into sports, or we could wrap it up if you want.
We were kind of at the Anthony Davis conversation and things like that. And Bronny.
Nurk and Wiseman. I didn't get an answer for that. If you had to pick right now, Nurk or Wiseman, you got a young talent.
Long term, Wiseman. But play like their whole career, who's better? Nurk for now until we see what Wiseman's done. For what Wiseman's done. I wouldn't say Nurk's even up there in the top 32 centers in the league.
Never. He's not in the top.
Well, there's only 32 teams. I don't even think he's a top 15 center. That's the issue with Nurk.
He'll never make that top 75 players list. Like,
no,
he's not even a top 100 big man. If you just took 100 centers over the last 100 years of the NBA or 75 years, he's not even in the top 100. He's not.
Why don't we play him at power forward or something? Like, does he just not work out as a power forward for?
Why don't we send him back to fucking Europe or wherever, bro? Get him off the Blazers. We need to
send him back to the Nuggets. They can
all right, I'm being a little dramatic because he's really not that bad. He is our best defender.
He's done a lot. A lot for. Well, you know what's crazy? Covington was our best defender the last 2 years. So
yeah, but as it stands
still not
right
even
now,
up there.
He's the best defender we have now. But he's just not going to get any better. He's plateaued. He's flatlined. And he looked really good before his injury. I think he had a 25-5 game. But, he's not coming back to that.
I think it's going to be another whole one of these seasons for some of these teams. It's going to be super interesting moving forward. I want to see what happens with so the Thunder have 3 first-round picks in 2024. And now all this conversation that LeBron's kind of usually LeBron doesn't make comments unless they're for a reason. And the fact that he's making it known that he's not so happy with things going on in the Lakers and maybe more his say in the Lakers, or a lot of people have been saying that LeBron's choosing what's going on, where a lot of that GM will make his own decisions and maybe let LeBron know, he clearly talks to him openly, but maybe LeBron's just not happy with the decisions being made, or there weren't enough moves that could be made. Sounds like he might dip out at some point. I'm kind of worried.
Definitely, especially what he said about his son, wherever his son plays, that's where he'll be at. So what does that say about the Lakers? Are the Lakers going to try to get Bronny James now, or what do they do? Do they now expect that in 2 years he's going to leave? They only have 2 more years with LeBron.
you
Yeah.
have to get a certain pick to draft my son. And if you don't
Well,
draft my son, I'm leaving next year. Can you imagine that talk with your
put
GM?
even saying that wherever my son is at, that's where I'm going to be. That kind of puts the Lakers in a weird position, right? That's like, okay, so what? We have to get him? Is that what you're saying? Or you're going to leave? Because in 2024,
Especially media,
he'll be in the league, which I am excited for. I cannot wait for Bronny to be. I'm more excited for Bronny James than I was for Zion Williamson.
Ooh, Zion was like this transcending talent too.
Yeah, I get it. I understand the hype behind him, and he definitely deserved that big shoe deal he got. He's dope. I mean, I like Zion, but
everybody thinks he's the Knicks LeBron, and so he easily got that shoe deal.
He's gonna have to learn how to shoot. LeBron could space the floor really well.
If he can shoot better numbers in the paint than Giannis, 60% in the paint all last season, like if he can keep doing that, come back from an injury,
I think he can.
Like, who's gonna stop him? Like it'll be like Giannis. It'll be like, oh, Giannis needs a jumper, but like, nope, just let his ass drive in the paint. And Jesus, who's gonna get in his way?
Giannis has been working on that. He's been doing really well. He's making threes now. They're leaving him open.
I agree.
The form looks nice. Everything looks good. And
back to the Bronny thing. His son ranks 43 in the nation right now, and there's certain players that were drafted their first year after once they play their final year of high school, they're eligible to be drafted if they want to be. Taylor Horton Tucker was 66th in the nation and got drafted, and then Dalen Gafford got drafted. He was ranked 47th, and he came right out of high school. Jordan Poole came right out of high school. He was 51st in the nation. And all these players were all drafted like somewhat around like low first round picks.
So he's definitely going to the league. There's no question that Bronny's making it to the league.
And there's a tweet yesterday saying that no matter what, that everyone around the league, GMs and everybody has the same spec that he's going to be a second round pick. That he's not going to be like a Bronny's son. It's going to be I keep hearing it around the league.
Wow. That's crazy.
Think some teams, like, you imagine at the 5th, 6th pick, if you're like Sacramento and you like got a chance to bring LeBron and his son for the next 7 years to your franchise, and just the promotion, the media, LeBron's coming to Sacramento kind of stuff. Like, just imagine the headlines and those small market teams that would love the publicity.
Oh man, and the stuff that he's going to have to go through being LeBron James's son is going to be an interesting challenge to see if he's going to be able to overcome that, because you got big shoes to fill with LeBron James. The bar has been set high, and you can see some of that with Lonzo and LaMelo. Like, their father created a lot of bullshit that they had to deal with. Now, it's not exactly the same as LeBron, but it's similar in that way that, like, your dad, the discussion about you and your dad all the time is going to be.
I do understand dads hyping up their sons, though. Like, don't get me wrong. LeVar had his not the right way to do it, but he's pushing his kids. He wants his kids to be known. He stirred up a lot of controversy.
People were coming for those Ball brothers, like Patrick.
But
Beverly.
they showed they can ball. They can ball, but he had a reason to talk.
It's going to be the same thing for Bronny when he gets in the league. They're going to be on his head. He's going to be like public enemy in the league. I think
you brought up the perfect example. I was going to bring up like how many failed sons have not made, like Dwayne Wade's son is still like in the G League. Also, freaking Shaq's son still hasn't made it into the league.
Gary Payton's second is in there.
Yeah, but his son now is somewhat making it. But for the last few years, he was definitely in that category. He just wasn't going to be like an instant talent.
Here's an interesting thing. Easy. How many sons are better than their dads? I mean, Steph Curry for sure is better than Del Curry. And same with Klay Thompson is better than his dad. But how many players are really better than their dads? Luke Walton.
Is Sabonis better than his dad?
I don't know. Let's go.
Sabonis did a lot.
Luke Walton has more championships than his dad, but is no way better than Bill Walton. Bill Walton was a key member of why the Blazers have a championship. Luke Walton rode the bench on the Kobe Shaq teams and like the Derek Fisher years. And there's no way that
even touch him.
But Luke Walton has more championships than his dad. He's the argument for why.
Are we really in a league? are we really in a league where stats and championships don't go hand in hand? Where it's like, oh, I have championships, so
That's
I'm way
what
up
I'm
here. It doesn't
saying.
matter all these accolades.
Yeah, that's
Like
why I'm
I
saying.
feel like it goes together. If you have accolades and a championship, you're definitely above someone who doesn't have a championship but does have accolades.
Yeah, Luke Walton is the prime example for why championships don't necessarily mean you're better than somebody, because Luke Walton has he has like 4 championships and Charles Barkley has 0. So what are you going to make the argument that Luke Walton? I mean, it's ridiculous. People make those arguments though. Go on Reddit, you'll see those arguments all day.
I can't do it.
Isn't that a joke? But there are not too many players that are better than their dads. If there's any that I'm forgetting, make sure to comment and let us know if some players better than their fathers. Because really, Curry and Klay Thompson come to mind immediately.
We'll have to like make a list and like go over all the father-son duos and like see who actually compared their stats, who does better.
Now, has any player actually played on the same team or even against their kid? Has that ever happened?
I think this is like the first time since when we had a 40-year-old averaging 30 points. Like he's almost 40. Yeah, like nobody plays this far in their career.
Unless LeBron just has that, they were 10 or something.
That crazy, like what's cool too is like Durant was like a grown-ass man when freaking Trae Young was a kid. And like you see like all these stars coming in the league. Like I was 8 months old when LeBron James was drafted, kind of crap. And now I'm in the NBA.
Like, well, you can see that video. Have you seen that video? It's from like a couple of years back where they're at like a basketball summit. And Julius Randle is there. Devin Booker is there. Zach LaVine is there.
Yep.
Yeah, all of these players are there young. And you could see it's the next generation of NBA talent. Like all those guys are in the league now. So it's interesting.
D'Angelo Russell was there.
Yeah.
So many.
So you have names. Seen it. You've seen it for sure.
I know exactly. In the face, like it was
I think Durant was there.
Griffin.
Blake Griffin was there.
Blake Griffin was doing layups in the gym. That's what the whole video was about. Everybody was watching him show off for the high school kids.
When Blake Griffin was the shit and he was on the Clippers.
Yep, exactly.
I really like Blake Griffin as a person though. Have you ever seen him do stand-up? He's pretty good. He does stand-up comedy, yeah.
Blake Griffin. I'll look into that. I haven't heard anything about that.
Personality-wise, Blake Griffin is a pretty cool dude to me. He's a laid-back guy. I've seen him on Hot Ones too. He's cool. I like Blake Griffin.
Not Zion, freaking Draymond Green's getting into freaking
I see that too.
He's on ESPN, like straight up talking while injured. Like he's on the sideline announcing a game while injured from the NBA. Like
he's doing everything. He's everywhere.
That's bonkers. Like he's really good at managing all those things. But just imagine, like I would be worried if I was Golden State. Like, are you leaving next year, dog? Are you done? I'm a little worried.
Yeah,
and what he said to Devin Booker, he did an interview with Devin Booker, and he's like, "Are you ready for the playoffs?" And like made it like they're 1 seat away from each other, and like it was definitely a pun, like you better be ready this playoffs because I'm coming back, kind of stuff. And like he gets a chance to like make those conversations while in game. It's kind of cool to see. It's really cool. I'm excited. I think he's gonna be an amazing announcer.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's got a lot of insight in the game. I really like watching former NBA players and whatnot becoming announcers because they just have a lot more insight than like Stephen A.
And he's not trying to be an ESPN guy. He's not trying to go on like ESPN. He's like straight up talking in game as the two people the voices you hear in game. Like that's cool that he's going into that. Most stars don't get into that sort of role. Like it's all very exclusive stuff.
Right.
But he is a big name. He's a big name. He definitely draws in like, oh, Draymond's talking. You know what I mean? He could be that next John Madden, maybe. But that's a bad example. It's a bad
example. Speaking of which, who are your favorite sports analysts right now? If you had to name like just 3.
Ooh, that's tricky.
I know you like Pat McAfee a lot.
I watch a lot of Pat McAfee. There's something about his channel. And as much as I hate Skip Bayless, I do watch him. I hate Skip Bayless, but I love listening to Skip school him. So I listen to Skip a lot. And then that Mike Cat, I forget his name. I watch that other show all the time, that like white hair guy, and he talks in his little thing. I forget his name. Get Like Coop though. Get Like Coop's my next one. Get Like Coop. I do like that guy.
I like Jimmy High Roller for a YouTuber. If you've ever heard of him, he's great on the analytics. And yeah, he just has great content. I've seen Get Like Coop as well. But yeah, on more of the professional sports podcasters or analysts, I really like all the First Take guys, Shaq and Barkley. They're hilarious. I watch their compilations.
Max Ketterman too. Max Ketterman. I don't like
Kellerman?
Stephen A, but Kellerman. How do I say it?
Kellerman.
Should have said Max. There.
He used
I
to
knew
be a
you knew what I was
rapper.
talking about.
He used to be, yeah, he has a rap video up. Look it up.
I have to watch that.
If you guys haven't seen that, look up Max Kellerman rap video. He's rapping in it. He's pretty young, so yeah.
Him and Shaq should make a rap. We'll throw Dame in there too. Like, let's just like collab.
God, Max Kellerman is not on that level. Shaq is actually pretty good, and so is Dame.
Dame dropped his new album. I saw that he dropped a new album over this whole time off. He's been working on his music while taking time off.
Yeah, he's
which is good for him. He's gonna get into some good headspace. Like, as long as he focuses on his music and not focus on not being able to play basketball, he won't have this like pull back to the game kind of attitude. Because like, you know that he's sitting there like, I want to play, but he has this other outlet to help him distract himself.
I agree, definitely. And overall, I think this has been a great episode. Episode 5. Man. Did you want to touch on that that group meeting that you're planning on having? So if anybody watching wants to join, we're going to have live discussions. And
so we started a Twitter, which is at 51 minutes or 51_minutes. And then if people follow that, at some point, we're going to start going live on Twitter. And then you guys can call into the show and talk to us and communicate back and forth. It should be pretty fun going forward. We're just going to try to start some NBA content, conversations, things like that. We'll just put random topics and anybody can just chime in. Just be respectful, guys, though.
We're really trying to build a community here, and we're interested in what you guys think about a lot of this. So the more sports that we could talk, the better it is for us. We really enjoy making the videos, and we'll be having another episode probably tomorrow. So thanks for watching. And
if anybody has any like ideas moving forward for like ideas for or different videos that we could do or different content that you want us to talk about, please just comment down below. We'll make sure to like have a video pop out that same day. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, or just like any kind of criticism, even on like the intro, any of that. We're all open.
My Nick beard. If anybody wants to talk more crap about my Nick beard, go for it. I'm ready for the comments. I'm expecting it.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to building this community with you guys. And thanks again for watching. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode.
Hopefully we'll make it to 51 minutes, but I doubt it. We'll see.
Did we make it? We'll see. All right, take care, everybody.
Later, guys. Later.
Wait, hold on.